Welcome to the MLA Citation Style tutorial. In this video, you'll see some examples of basic citations on the Works Cited page and for in-text citations. Okay, let's jump right in. Here are some basics of the Works Cited page. Start a new page at the end of your paper and title it Works Cited. Center the title at the top with a 12-point font. Do not bold, underline, or italicize. Then alphabetize the sources according to the first element of your entries. This could be the author's name or the title of the source. Double space the entries just as you did with the rest of your paper. And make sure that you use the hanging indent for all your Works Cited entries. Entries in the Works Cited list are created using the MLA's template of core elements. It would take too long to explain each of them in this video, but here is a QR code that will take you to a guide which discusses each of the elements. Remember that not all of your sources will have each of these elements. This first example is a citation for the book Prairie Town Boy by Sandburg. The author's name is listed as last name first, comma, then the first name with a period to close that element. Then you see the title of the source. It's italicized because it is a monograph or single work, meaning that it is not housed in a larger work, and that element is closed with a period. After that is the publisher information. The publisher is the entity responsible for producing the work. Use a comma here because what comes next provides publication details. Then the publication year is last. Whatever comes last, always end your citations with a period. The second example is a book without an author. Here we use the title as the first element. Again, it is italicized because it's a single work. The version element is the 9th edition of this work. Use a comma here because it's part of the publication information too. Then next is the publisher element, and last is the publication date. And here's an example for an article in a library database. The author is listed first. After that is the article's title. Quotation marks are used here because the title is contained in a journal. It's not a single work like a book is. When you have an article that's in a library's database, then we're going to have two containers for the citation, and container titles are italicized. The first container is going to be the journal that the article is housed in. This journal title is Nutrients. Next are the volume and issue numbers of the journal. That's the number element for the first container. The publisher's information is not recorded for a library database, so we leave that out. Then next is the publication date for the article. The location element for the article includes the page numbers, if there is paging available for the articles. Now, the second container is listed and it's styled in italics. In this case, it's the name of the database because it contains the journal. Next is the URL as the location of the second container, and last is the date that you accessed the article. The next example is an article found on a website. The author's listed first. If there's no author, then begin the citation with the title of the article. The title of the article is in quotation marks. Again, quotation marks are used since the article is found within the container, and in this case, it's the website. Next is the title of the container or website, and it's italicized. Then comes the publisher information. Websites are published by individuals and various kinds of organizations, such as corporations, governments, museums, and universities. The publication date comes next. Give as much information as available. Some web sources may only have the year. And then the URL is for the location element of the article. Then last, the date of access. Now, when you have two authors, the first author is formatted last name, comma, first name, comma. After that, you use the word and, then follow it with the second author's name, written in the normal first name, last name format. Now, if there are 3 or more authors, you only include the first author followed by the phrase et al. So creating your entries for a works cited page is only half of the work when you're citing. The other half is inserting the in-text citations within the body of your paper. In-text citations are short references that lead the reader to your works cited list. An MLA uses an author page number system. This is an example of an in-text citation in parentheses. Use only the last name of the author, no comma, and then the page number where the information can be found in the source. This example uses a signal phrase to let the reader know that a source has been used for this quote. Notice how the period goes after the parentheses where the page number is noted at the end. That tells the reader that the sentence is now ended and that the quote and page number belong to that source. Even when you paraphrase, meaning that you put the information in your own words, but the idea came from the source, you still need to create an in-text citation to let your reader know that you've used a source. These examples show when your source has 2 authors. Use both last names for the in-text citation using the word "and" between their names. If the source has 3 or more authors, you can list all the names or list the name of the first author and use the wording "and others" or "and colleagues" as shown in the first example. In the second example, if you decide to use a parenthetical citation, then list the surname of the first author and et al. After it, just as you did in your works cited entry. If there is no author, then use the title of the source. Now, if the title is long, you can abbreviate the work. You can use the first 1, 2, or 3 words from the title. Just be sure that you provide enough to make it clear which work you're referring to from your works cited list. Also, if the title in the works cited list is in italics, then italicize it for the in-text citation. If the title is in quotation marks, then use those. To sum up, whatever is used as the first element of the source from your works cited list should be used for the in-text citation, whether it's the author's name or the title of the source. And last, if there is no paging of your document, then simply leave it out. Okay, we've reached the end. There are many other scenarios of citing that you may run into. The QR code has been inserted on this page again for the library's MLA guide. Go ahead and bookmark it for future reference. If you have questions, please feel free to contact your Sandburg librarian at library@sandburg.edu. Thanks, and have a beautiful day.